pretty easy, for the most part, pretty easy going year for us, especially compared to the other two. Obviously, our first one was the most stressful we ever had because we threw, all of our time and money and everything into it. And so that was really hard to overcome. And then we didn't have a lot of actors at that time. But, yeah, this year, compared to the past two, seemed a lot easier.
Right.
It was good. What I'll probably do. So this year we're organizing. The reason for it is that way we run a smoother show. Everything's much easier to find because one of the issues we've always had, especially with the first 2 years, like for example, we've been building the haunt. We didn't actually have time to get stuff organized. So our main focus this year was to do it.
We haven't changed a lot of the paths this year, but we have changed a lot in the background by having great makeup artists, great managers that just helped us tremendously so we could get through with stuff. But our actors mainly were what made this haunt. They always make the haunt, but this one, it was outstanding what they were doing. They were learning with each other. It was just like a great big family. Everybody was talking. If somebody was having an issue, they were helping them through it to make it just an amazing show.
Yeah, like you said, makeup artist, everything. Carrie, seen her in last year's documentary. She painted the mural and everything. We moved to airbrushing, which has made makeup go by so much faster, which helps us so much. And then physically, we made one bigger change, which was our bungee scare.
First year, I was at the front in the first room. I would lead people in, and they'd talk to this skeleton, and I sort of skulk about the room and creep them out while they listened. I think I kind of like this one more just because it's just kind of ridiculous and crazy, and I like kind of the kind of more physical aspect of stuff and the weird contraption I'm hooked up to.
So our last 2 Saturdays of the month of October were our highest attendance. We reached our all-time goal. We actually hit in the 400s a night, over 400 customers a night, which is what we were really pushing for. So it was really cool to finally be able to achieve that goal. And then, like I said, our last 2 Saturdays, the exact same. We had 410 as an attendance in total, which is awesome. We really had to push them through, but that kind of made it a lot of fun.
Yeah,
though.
they still got the show though. It wasn't like a train, where you're just going in a conga line. They still each had their own little thing, but we were pushing them through, and you knew it too. It was like, ooh, here they come.
It was fast paced, high intensity, and constant go go go. I don't even know how to explain the excitement behind it. It was exhausting, but it definitely won't be forgetting that anytime soon.
Right.
I really like to scare people that will run because I love to chase people. I had one girl drop her phone, and then I tried to guide her back to where her phone was, and she just didn't want to go. She's like, can you please not scare me? I'm just like, it's over here.
I like kind of creeping around the corner sometimes, or last night just crouching down at one point and sort of rising into a more humanoid position before I run at someone. I think just whatever groups kind of have a lot of energy to them are fun, whether they're seem like they're really scared or they're really excited. It's just a lot of fun to kind of get that energetic response. I don't know, I guess it feels like when they kind of match the energy that I put into it, it's just a lot of fun to kind of feed off of that and kind of have a back and forth.
The drywall was a good start because it got us It was much cheaper. Still is much cheaper, but obviously it doesn't hold as well as that plywood does.
Oh, the damage. Damage in the haunt. Yeah. This guy right here was one of the biggest culprits of it.
No.
Even though that he's behind the scenes most of the time, every now and then he jumps out there and he gets a little aggressive and we get damaged. But our actors are definitely the ones that do all the damage in these haunts. We do have a few customers come through that have a little bit of damage, but our actors, they get so aggressive. I don't know how much work I got to do this year to fix it. But I'm walking around this thing right after the season was over, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I mean, there's sections of it look like tornado went through it. It's unreal. I was like, how did they even do that? I don't know. But yeah, I got a lot of work ahead of me. So, but it's all worth it in the end, because if they weren't that aggressive and having that much fun, the customers wouldn't enjoy it as much. So it's pretty awesome.
So each year we do a trailer. It's basically going to explain a little more of the story and kind of show off new characters that we start adding into the year, new things that we start adding into the year, as well as expanding the story that we're creating. So as you walk through each year, you actually get to experience part of the story as we rebuild, experience all these new characters that we add in, and be able to interact with them and everything. It'll be almost like as if you're walking into like a horror movie, which is kind of what we want. Starting off with the trailer, you see obviously the red coming up from the ground and everything, and all the fog smoke. There's flowers planted around it. And what this has to do with is the Book of Evil, or the Book of Flesh, whatever we might want to call it at the time. Don't have a name for it yet. It's actually buried in the ground. And this land is the garden of the monastery. So you see Sister Dahlia, she's actually the gardener of the monastery. She digs up this book. That's why you see the red, because that symbolizes the evil of Eclypse, and it unleashes all that evil upon the holy monastery land. Between the three, the one with the eyes, the one with the ear, and the one with the throat, kind of symbolizing see no, hear no, speak no evil, as well as all of the hair and stuff that you see and everything. That's going to be another part of the story that actually like makes sense, you know. It'll all just come together, but until we kind of get it like all set in stone, ironed out. I don't want to say yet, because I don't want to give parts of the story that we decide may not be there, but that for a fact, those are definitely going to be part of it. And I could say another character that 100% will be in the story goes by the name Father Lamb, but that's all I could really say right now. I feel like our main goal for next year is going to be changing our story room. Exactly how we're doing it yet is still up for debate. We got some ideas, but our whole goal for this new story room is that we are able to bring in multiple customers at a time that allows them to actually experience the story. It's going to be like a show in a room practically, and then as that story ends, we'll start releasing them in our group. But that's not only going to be a super cool experience for them, but it's also going to help us because it allows us to put more customers through a night. I mean, I'm still young. I'm only 23, but like back then when we started it, I was
12?
That's what I was going to say, 12 or 13, something like that. I was very young until the age, I think, of 17. But like business-wise, anything like that, I didn't understand any of it. It was all, at least for me at the time, more just for fun. But now being here, as Eclypse and everything, I've learned so much that has to go into it to actually keep, the business alive and keep progressing, and being able to manage everything between, money to employees. But I really enjoy it. I mean, it's something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, he started out as just a young little boy thinking it was just all fun and games, and I've watched him grow into a young man and learning all the things that go along with it. It's a lot of work, and he's understanding it. A lot of stress on him, and you can see it some days, but I'm always there for his back if he needs it. Otherwise, I just kind of let him do it on his own, and that's the best way to learn, in my opinion.